we're doing this video and several videos to go back and document the story from the very beginning of how we found out about Tyler's diagnosis and all the way through to where we are today and all the events in between and how we got to here, there, and everywhere and how it all worked out and how God was present in everything. And we're doing that because everybody that we had spoken to, even when we were in Cleveland, that heard about the story, said, you guys need to write it down. You guys really need to document everything and all that. So we're doing that. We thought it'd be a cool idea to put that in video format because there's a lot of people that I believe that want to hear the story, but can't come over and sit down and let us tell them the story. So not only that, but we want to have something that Tyler can go back and reference, and he can see from A to Z how everything happened and how God used every situation, even the bad news, for His good, and all that. And so we know that this story will bless others. We know that this story displays God's goodness and God's glory and God's work, and that's why we want to share the story. Spina bifida basically just means open spine, and there's different forms of spina bifida. His was
the worst.
Yeah,
Worst one you get.
Yeah, and basically, when you're in your mother's womb, at a certain part on your spine, the spine doesn't close all the way like it does on a normal baby, but it's open, and it exposes the spinal cord to the amniotic fluid, causing damage. There's several different things that can happen with a baby that has spina bifida. One of them is that they lose function of their bladder, they lose function of their bowels, and they lose some strength in their legs, some function in their legs. They develop fluid on the brain, causing them to have a shunt. They also develop Chiari malformation, different things like that. So we're still learning a lot about spina bifida. We're now pros about it. We've only just started learning since we found out about the diagnosis. So, but that's a little bit of what we were facing when we got the diagnosis of spina bifida.
How we found out about Tyler's diagnosis is we went to, I'm 35 years old, and my OBGYN recommended that I get the blood test that detect whether your baby has Down syndrome or spina bifida or any other problems it might have.
Birth defect.
Yeah, birth defect, yeah. And so I had that blood drawn, and then I went to the next appointment, and it tested positive for spina bifida. And so from there, our doctor was telling us that it could be a false positive. That sometimes it's a false positive. So we weren't really worried about it when we first heard about it. And she sent us to a perinatal doctor in Tulsa to have a special ultrasound just to make sure that everything looked good. And that's when we found out.
June 27, 2019.
And that's when we found out that Tyler had spina bifida. At the time, I felt crushed, disappointed, helpless, because I didn't know what we could do to help him. Because we were hearing your baby won't walk, your baby will have trouble with his bowel and bladder, that he probably will develop hydrocephalus. So at that point, I just didn't know what to do, and I felt like, I don't know, just our whole world was crashing in.
Yeah, pretty much. You feel like you want to help your baby, but there's really not a whole lot that you can do as far as. I mean, you can't go in there and by yourself anyway and try to make something happen, and so you're basically looking at an outcome of, like Kimmy said, he'll develop hydrocephalus. He'll lose control of his legs. He'll get club feet. He won't have control of his bladder or of his bowels, and maybe he'll walk, maybe he won't walk, and that's something that you have on your mind from that moment forward, and you want to do something, but you don't really know what you can and cannot do, and so you just pray about it at that particular moment and kind of go day by day. After we found out about the diagnosis, we were told by the doctor at the perinatal place in Tulsa that there was a good possibility that Tyler would be a good candidate for surgery inside the womb to help close up the defect area that would bring down the risk of hydrocephalus and improve a lot of his a lot of the things that could continue to go wrong had he not had this surgery. So he referred us to a place down in Texas that began our journey into finding out more about Tyler's condition and really set us off into the rest of his story that we will dive into next week or next time. The trip down to Houston, what occurred there, what did or did not take place, and what we did from there.